Oh my god, what's happening? So welcome back guys to another Infinite Warfare video. Today is episode 1. We're going to be doing Infinite Warfare 7 things you didn't realise about Throwback. Now Throwback was one of the maps in the beta. It's sort of an alright map. I kind of love it at some times and I hate it at others. I'd love to know how you feel about the map. If you find this video interesting, then feel free to leave a like. In this mini-series we're going to be looking at Easter eggs in maps, we're going to be looking at tips, secret pathways, ways in general to improve your performance in certain maps. So we're looking at all. And today, the first map we're going to start off with is Throwback. So, make sure you're sitting down, enjoy the ride. Let's get straight into it. So first up, if you come over here to the corner of the map, you're going to see a shop called Creamy Rick's. You're going to see signs similar with that ice cream figure all over the map as well. And the whole shop is owned by Creamy Rick, supposedly. And I thought, it's a bit strange. After doing some research, and you know how the whole map in general looks a bit like Warhawk. Well, if you go onto Warhawk from Ghosts, right, and I'm sorry, the frame rate was a bit horrible, it's just Ghost being a bit strange. You'll see here, and it comes up a lot in Ghost in different maps, is Creamy Rick's again. You see Ice Cold, and that was his. I don't know if that was just a sign for him or a little stand or whatever, but yeah, that was Creamy Rick's. Comes up all over the game, and supposedly he's got his own shop in Infinite Warfare. So it's just a little throwback to Ghosts. I know a lot of people didn't like that game, but whatever, I liked the game. Come over here, you'll see a really bright pink sign saying Holly's Cakes, and I thought, it doesn't seem right, why on earth is that sign there? And then I thought back to Black Ops 3, and you know, you'll notice the sign, it comes up a lot on the map in Black Ops 3, Holly's Cream Cakes. You'll see the cakes look similar, the sign in Infinite Warfare says Holly's Cakes, this one says Holly's Cream Cakes, so you know, it's probably a very similar sign, and I must be making this up. I could have sworn there was one that looked very similar to the one in Infinite Warfare. Probably making that up. Maybe I just imagine it, but I could have sworn there was one. So it's obviously, in my mind, it definitely seems like a reference to, or a throwback, if you will, to Black Ops 3, and the other one for Ghosts. Kind of cool, I guess. Moving on, you'll see on the other side of the map, you come over to this burger stand. Nothing exciting, except when you go closer, it's a teddy. I don't know, it's strange, because Infinite Warfare, you know, Infinity War don't really do teddies generally. Well, they sort of do, but I don't see why, because it's not like they have zombies with teddies. Their teddies just doesn't seem right in Infinity War games, you know. They have normally like astronaut stuff and other little characters, but teddy bears just don't seem to be a thing. But you know, whatever, that's cool. Something which I figured a lot of people wouldn't see. Now, if you come over literally right behind that, you'll see a sign on this blue building. It says, "Got a dog, Ronnie's world famous hot links." And I was looking at that sausage character, that hot dog character in the beta when I was playing this map. And I knew that character from somewhere. I knew I did. And I couldn't quite remember. And then suddenly it came to me. You know our favourite game, Ghosts? Well, if you come over here, you'll see on Strike Zone, one of the more prominent maps in Ghosts, you'll see Ronnie's world famous hot links. And again, Throwback has got a baseball pitch in it. Here, again, this map's all to do with baseball. So you see, again, it's a link. So they pretty much, I think that's, I don't know if they've just tried to sort of get a re-inspired Strike Zone which looks completely different, no idea, but they've definitely taken quite a few assets from Ghosts and put them in this map. So it's interesting that they've got a lot of Easter eggs. Were they lazy, or were they trying to do some Easter eggs? Who knows? Now next up, let's look at that clip at the start of the video. You'll see the Earth, and that's what it looks like, you know, in space. But when you're standing up, you know, looking by the baseball pitch, I almost didn't notice it. But when I did see it, I thought, that's really strange. Why on earth is there Earth in the sky? And then I thought about it even more. I thought, how on earth can that be possible? Because the whole map makes you think like you're on Earth. But you're not, because if you're looking up in the sky and you see Earth, either that's just some silly projection in the sky, or we're not on Earth. So then I thought, that's interesting. If we're not on Earth, where would we be? I know obviously the Earth isn't actually going to be that big when you look up in the sky. They've sort of over-exaggerated it. But let's assume that it would actually be that big. We'd have to be quite close to it, almost as if we were on the moon, say. But the problem with that is obviously the moon, if you know, it doesn't actually have a proper atmosphere or anything, or at least not an atmosphere with gases that we breathe and stuff. You know, if you look up in the sky on the map, it's got clouds, it's got everything, so it looks like an Earth atmosphere, but we're so close, it's almost like we're on the moon. So who knows? Are we on the moon? Could be. I bet you many people didn't know that, so something cool. If you come to the middle of the map, you'll see this sign here which says, "Welcome to Addisonville," and you'll see loads of, it'll say Alderman of the municipal council. You'll see loads of names there. And I thought names, they're often Easter eggs something. So I looked up a lot of the names, and every time I looked up the name, you know, most of them were linking me to, when I typed in the name and then Call of Duty, and by the way, that one of them on there was Creamy Rick that we saw earlier, so that's interesting. But when I typed in, you know, each of those names and then Call of Duty, it would come up to like up their sort of Facebook, Twitter, yeah, those kind of pages, and say that they sort of work on Call of Duty games. But it's interesting because when I looked up some of them, it was saying sort of Raven Software, or, you know, when I looked at some of their work, the people that were on that sign were, you know, heavily responsible for Advanced Warfare maps. So I'm thinking, why on earth have they got names of devs that have made Advanced Warfare maps, considering that's made by Sledgehammer Games? Why on earth have they got those devs on it? And, you know, like pretty much all of them I can find and trace back to Advanced Warfare and other games like that. A few of them it says, you know, worked on Infinite Warfare and this and that, but most of them it says Advanced Warfare. Now for some of it did actually explicitly say they work at Raven Software Studios, and other ones it didn't say it, but if you think about it, I was looking at all the games that these devs were working on, and the only development studio that all the games have in common is Raven Software. You know, you've got like Sledgehammer Games, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, but you wouldn't. Some you'd have Neversoft, in other ones you wouldn't, which is now merged with Infinity Ward anyway. But the only studio, right, the only studio which has worked on, I think, pretty much every game for God knows how many years, is Raven Software. Now, we know back from Black Ops 3 that they did make some maps in Black Ops 3. For example, Redwood, which is, in my opinion, the worst map in the game. So I just have to wonder, if it was Infinity Ward making this map, why would they put loads of Raven Software devs as sort of a little Easter egg? It doesn't make any sense. So, in my mind, I have to think that this map could have been made by Raven Software, because it makes sense, isn't it? If Raven Software work on the map, they're gonna sort of throw in Easter eggs of some of their devs working on this map. It's a bit sad in a way that they don't tell us, and it's a bit annoying, to be honest. Yeah, and it's like, if they've made this map, how many other maps have they made? And, you know, if they've made other maps, considering there aren't a ton of maps in Infinite Warfare, why is this game not finished? That's what I don't understand. Now, final thing, this is kind of an annoying thing, but I wanted to point it out, especially because it definitely needs to be patched. If you come over, and some people point this out, but it's not very well known, if you come over to the trains in the middle of the map, all the blue ones, if you shoot them, you'll see the bullets ricochet off, or hit it and won't go through, depending on what kind of weapon you're using. But the red ones, all of them, the bullets pass straight through it, so they'll go from one, through to the other, through to the other, through to the other, right to the other end of that train track. And to that train at the end there, they'll go right through, and I do not understand why this is. It must be just some kind of error, but it can be a troll, because I've seen, you know, videos of people where they've sort of been on the other side and just randomly, you know, they'll be shooting because people can't see you through it, so they'll just shoot through there knowing that their bullet will pass straight through. You can get some sneaky kill with it, so that's a little tip as well, I guess you could say, for, you know, sort of more objective game modes where it's more important, like flags, dom, search and destroy, that kind of thing. Little tip there, but I mean, to be honest, it does need to be patched, but I wanted to point it out anyway. So, hope you found this video useful or interesting. If you did, feel free to leave a like. Hope you're all having a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.